Hello and welcome to this presentation on how to start an invisible business. I'm Andrew Lance, a coach at Learn, and I'm joined today by Anik Singhal, the founder and CEO of Learn. Anik is what you could call an internet marketing Jedi. He started his first online business from his dorm room and has gone on to do over $100 million in sales online. He has also worked with thousands of students and have helped them build their own online businesses too. Anik has an experience in a number of different online businesses, from digital publishing to affiliate marketing to coaching and consulting. Today, he's going to talk about what he calls an invisible business. Robert Kiyosaki talks a lot about moving away from the E and S quadrants, that's employee and self-employed, into the B and I quadrants, being a business owner and a professional investor. Well, Anik dedicates his life to teaching people how to move into the B quadrant by utilizing the tools of the internet. And that's what he's going to discuss today. So Anik, welcome and thank you for being here today.
Hey, thank you so much, Andrew. It is an honor, a pleasure. And I love talking about this stuff. This is life-changing. It works exactly with what Robert Kiyosaki wants us to do. And I'm telling you, that was the first book I ever read, and I couldn't, my life couldn't be a bigger testament to his teaching. And what we're going to talk about today, it couldn't be an easier way. I mean, when that book was written 20 years ago, the internet didn't exist. You couldn't do what you can do with the internet today. And so you can actually be an S, but act like an I, just because your business can run itself on the internet and literally provide you with income that you're not working for. So I'm excited. I'm really pumped up.
That's interesting. That's an interesting way to put it. Actually, could you start by talking about how, as when you got started with an online business, how you've grown it, how you've been able to move through those different quadrants and where you're at today?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I'll start with a little fun story, and going back to what we learned about the cash flow quadrant from Robert. Yesterday, this is a true story. I was actually binge watching my favorite TV show with my wife, and we're just relaxing, having a good time. And finally, the show gets done. It's like 11:30, and we're packing up for the day to go to bed. And I look at my phone, and I have a message on my phone, and it's regarding one of my online businesses. And during the time that I was watching that TV show with my wife, I had generated $15,000 in net income. $15,000 in net income using what I call the invisible business, what we're going to talk about today. Now, this is just one of my days. I've had days where I've made hundreds of thousands. And I want you to, again, understand, this was an online invisible business that provided me with income that resembles that of an investor, of an I. The best way to make money is when money works for you and you don't work for it. So when you go back in my life, I started my journey to wealth, as I call it, must be 15 years ago now. But that wasn't when I read the book. I read Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad about 16, maybe 17 years ago. It's the first book I ever read. And I knew one thing, internally. I knew that entrepreneurship was the solution for me. But that's not what I was taught. Society does not teach us this, right? We are trained, and the system is rigged in a very bad way to not allow us to pave our own paths, to make our own dreams come true. So I was in that system. Now, in my life, and everyone around me is a doctor, engineer, lawyer, and I know a lot of wealthy people. Growing up, the people with the nicest cars, the biggest homes, who took the nicest vacations and went to the best restaurants were doctors. Those who got the most accolade in my community were doctors. Those who got the most respect were doctors. So I thought, I'm going to be a doctor. But as I started to take my own approach, now I don't know what led me to finally picking up that book at such a young age, or what led me to going out and researching and trying to find another answer, what led me to maybe at some point in some place in my gut feeling that what I was being taught was wrong. I don't know what it was, but as I started to research my own way, my own path, I began to quickly realize that it wasn't going to be by working for somebody else, or it wasn't going to be by being in another person's organization, someone who looks at me as a means to an end. And I went to college. I was still studying to be a doctor. It only took me about a year and a half to figure out this wasn't for me. And that was when I decided, okay, entrepreneurship, what's that? I don't know. Nobody can show me. Nobody can help me. Nobody can guide me. It doesn't exist in my family. How will I do this? But let me go to business. Maybe with business, I can open more doors. So I switched universities, and I let go of a full scholarship. I was a smart kid, but I was street smart. See, I used to learn something enough for the test and forget it 2 hours after the test. I used to have strategies on how to study. So yes, people say, Anik, you're on a scholarship. Believe me, there's nothing smart about me other than the fact that I can get good grades. I know how to get what I want. So yes, I was on a full scholarship, and I had to look my parents in their face and tell them I wanted to switch universities, go to a business school where my parents would now have to spend over $20,000 a year for the last 2 years of education. God blessed me with amazing parents who supported me, but much to my chagrin, within 6 months of reaching that school, I realized, God, this wasn't the solution either. It wasn't what I was looking for. And that was when I turned to our good old friend Google. Google was just getting big back then. And I went and I typed in how to make money. It's literally what I typed in, how to make money. And I saw all those envelope stuffing this, survey taking this, all that BS that I was lucky enough to know that was BS. And I found my way to this forum, this place where people hung out and they talked about this thing called an online business. And lo and behold, one thing led to another, and I knew it was real. People were taking information, Andrew, go figure, words, and monetizing it. People were taking systems, ways to do something, how to do something, and making it into a business. It was quite the revelation. I thought, wow. Robert Kiyosaki always says the industrial age is over. It is the information age. Couldn't be more right. And it was then that I really began to dive into this world of building an invisible business. And I was, I struggled 18 months. I really struggled because there were no systems back then. Nobody had really figured it out. People were figuring out pieces and chunks, and it took a lot of dedication, a lot of hard work, a lot of time to really figure it out. 18 months of failing, and I must have failed over 50 times in that time frame. And believe me, I was working hard. It wasn't for a lack of hard work. So long story short, finally I made my first $300 one night. It was quite a dramatic story because that was the last night. I was so fed up. I was going to quit, but something clicked. Somebody helped me. Somebody reached out, gave me the right formula. Made my first $300. Never looked back. That was 13 and a half years ago, and I have never, ever since made less than $300 in a day in my life. Today, as I speak to you, I'm in my lower 30s. I've traveled the world. I fly first class. I live the life I want. I do what I want, when I want. I pave my own paths. But Andrew, the biggest thing, the most important thing, is I give back. I'm able to work with such a wonderful team at Learn, and I'm able to work with the people that I want to be around, the people who I can help empower to make their dreams come true. I've worked with over close to 1 million students all over the world to help them make their dreams come true. I've built schools now in India that allow us to bring education to children who otherwise wouldn't have it. So many things that having money has been able to help me do at such a young age, all because I understood one concept. We have to pave our own paths. We have something called the internet now, and there is a true step-by-step solution to doing it.
So when you talk about an invisible business, what does an invisible business look like? Let's say you could put on your goggles that allow you to see invisible things. What does an invisible business actually look like?
So you're the one who's invisible, not your business. You're invisible. You don't exist. See, think about a traditional business, Andrew. You'd open a store. Let's talk about Robert's first business, very inspirational story, or one of his first businesses. He bought 100,000 wallets, had them shipped from China. And now he has 100,000 wallets that he has to sell. He put all that money down. He has to have warehouse space. He has to physically get out there, pay for fuel, pay for people, pay for processing. There's nothing invisible about that. It requires someone to be there. Let's talk about the S quadrant, self-employed. Lots of very wealthy self-employed people, all right? Well, I'd say they're rich. I wouldn't say they're wealthy. But you've got doctors. You've got lawyers. Nothing invisible about that. If you disappear, so does the money. Let's talk about the B quadrant. You're in the B quadrant. You're running a big company with hundreds of employees. Yes, you can certainly disappear and be a little invisible, but you can't be completely invisible. Then you talk about the I quadrant, where you put your money to work and you don't really matter. Nobody cares if you're there or not there because, well, you're not supposed to be there. And the money continues to come in. See, with an internet business, you're open 24/7. You are open on holidays. You are open on weekends. You're open at 3 in the morning. But you are not there. You don't need to be there. Your website that you built, and in today's day and age, Andrew, the website can be one page. And so we're not talking about a complicated e-commerce store or something that's going to require technology and knowledge. No, we're talking about a page that's built using the click technology, a one page on the internet that can represent your entire business that's up and running at all times, whether you're sleeping, snorkeling, or sitting on the beach. And so you're invisible in your business. And the way we do this is that you don't have to develop your own products. You don't have to ship things. You don't have to warehouse things. What you need to do, the only thing you need to do is master the art of getting people to come to your one page. That's it. And again, fully automated now. It's so simple to do. People come to your one page. They see what you're offering, which again has been set up for you in an automated fashion. You didn't have to do anything. It's just there. They decide to give you their email address. That's it. They say, I will trade you my email address in exchange for this free report on this topic that you're going to give me. And by the way, we give you that free report. So tons of them that are out there. That's yours. You don't have to write it. You don't have to make it. And in exchange, what you do is you set up a series of emails that will go out to these people, warming up to them, just saying hi, hello, and teaching. And this is why it's important the only important part of this business is to pick a niche or a topic that interests you, something you like. That can really, 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 really make your chances of success far greater. So now what you can start to do is, Andrew, you pick other people's products, that other companies who spent a lot of time and energy developing great digital products that teach how to do something in any niche, and you endorse it. You go to that company, you take 3 minutes on the internet, fill out an application, they give you a unique link. That's it. You use that link. That's it. That's all you ever do. Nobody has to know you even exist. When they click that link and go to the other person's website and they happen to purchase a product, you are going to earn anywhere from 50 to 80% of what is transacted. Now, I know you're thinking, if this is brand new, you're thinking, this guy's lost his mind. Why would anybody pay 50 to 80%? Because think about the other company that's selling their products. It's a digital product. They don't have any cost of fulfillment. It's a fully virtual automated process, and they get to get a customer for life. So they are happy to share a lion's share of revenue with you because they also don't have to spend any money to get that visitor to their website. So all in all you have done is asked somebody to click a link and told them that when you go to the other site, what you will see, I recommend. I like it. I think it's great if you're interested in learning about such and YZ topic. And that person goes there, they see it. If it fits them, they decide to purchase, and now all of a sudden you're making money, but you're not there. It's not your product. It's not your customer. You don't have any obligations post the transaction, but you do get your lion's share of the transaction. And this is what I've been doing, Andrew, to generate millions of dollars a year in net income. Millions. So even though I today have my own products on the internet, and we teach how to do that as well, you can still build an invisible business with your own products and automate the whole process. So in the last 15 years, of course, I've marched up that tree, and I do have my own products today, and I do make millions from those as well. But I also do anywhere between $2 to $3 million a year by endorsing other people's amazing products. It's some of the best business because, again, right, investor mentality. You're generating income and you're not having to put in the hours to do it. Your same 5 minutes could make you $1 million versus make you $5. It just doesn't matter. The time investment is the exact same.
So to clarify for the audience, the asset that you're investing in for this business is an email list. The email list
Yes,
is what
absolutely.
the foundation of your business. That is what building your email list, your database of subscribers, people who you can email offers to, is what has allowed you to go from starting a business from scratch to now having a multi-million-dollar business that can be very hands-off.
Absolutely.
So I think that when people hear that, they think, awesome, email. But isn't email kind of obsolete now? I mean, isn't there like there's Facebook and there's Twitter and there's Instagram and there's a Snapchat? There's all kinds of things out there. Can you really still build a business from email?
I love that question, and I appreciate you setting me up for it. Look, guys, look at yourself. Why are you listening to this interview? There's an email you clicked somewhere. There's a link in an email you clicked somewhere. Email is never going anywhere. Okay, email is not going anywhere. And ask yourself how many times a day you check email. Yes, we have Facebook. Yes, we have all these other mechanisms. But do you know social media comes and goes? Do you know how many social media fads there have been and then they have died? I mean, I can literally list a bunch of sites that became big and went. But ask yourself, what do you do the first thing you get to work? What do you do first time you wake up? What do you do at night before you go to sleep? How do you communicate with your friend in Peru? I mean, email is instantaneous, free communication. That's not going anywhere. It might evolve, but it's not going anywhere. And when it evolves, so will this business model. But there are some really interesting data points that have come out, not by our company, but done by great statisticians and companies that are credible in this. 4.6 billion email addresses exist in the world. Now, at any given time, there's estimated, I think, about 8 billion populations, like 7.6 billion in population in the world. So people have multiple email addresses, of course, but 4.6 billion email addresses exist. Now, here's the crazy numbers. Numbers get crazier. 66% of people surveyed who have an email address reported making a buying decision because of an email that was sent to them. 66% of people who have emails said they made a buying decision because of it. 70% of those surveyed said that they prefer email as communication from people other than friends and family, including businesses, newsletters, and individuals like yourself and I who are reaching out through these virtual newsletters. Now, the one that really blew me away, let's really talk about the investor mentality, right? The one that really blew me away was that for every $1 invested into email, the average company that does email marketing reported an end-of-year ROI of $44. Now, please just do the math there for a moment. $44 in return for $1 investment. Yet here we chase mutual funds and stocks, and we are super excited if we can get a 10% return. At the end of the year, if we put $1 in and we had $1.10, we think we're winning. And I'm here telling you, you can turn $1 into 43. That is a 4,300% rate of return. Now, I'm not guaranteeing that, promising that. There's no way to do any of that. But I'm here to tell you that this is why the invisible business model, this is why having an online business is about as darn close to getting into the I quadrant as you'll ever get without having millions of dollars to invest in other people's companies.
So what would it take to get started with this kind of business? What do you need to get going?
Well, I'm glad you asked. So really, you don't need much. A lot of people stay away from starting an online business due to fears such as they need to know technology. 10 years ago, I would look you in the face and tell you it's true. When I started 15 years ago, I could barely turn my computer on. I still can't. I hate technology. But back then, I used brute force, dedication, persistence, and relentlessness to simply, learn technology. I mean, back then, I could put up a web page in code because it was needed. Today, not at all. We've come such a long way in automated technology. I'm telling you right now, we have women and men in our business that are 60, 65, 70 years old running their businesses. I have to say that the technology barriers have been removed. So it doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, how good you are with with the computer. It just doesn't matter. Second, a big reason people don't go into business to begin with is this misconception that you need money to make money. Again, go back 20 years ago. Totally true. Can't get around it. Today, it just isn't. Leverage used to mean money makes money. Leverage today doesn't mean that anymore. Leverage means you can utilize tools like the internet to make you money. You don't need a lot. What does it cost to go into business? You need a domain name. As a matter of fact, the tools that we provide at Learn for our students make it so you don't even need a domain name. But even if you did, $8, okay. You need a place to park your one-page website. And it's literally something that's as simple as clicking a few buttons. You don't have to understand it. And that parking can cost you $10 a year. Again, we do it for free for our students at Learn. What's the next thing you need? You need to pick a topic, a niche. Niches like self-development, financial literacy, niches like training your puppy dog, gardening, building, carpentry, woodworking, knitting. I could keep going. Just ask yourself something. If there is a niche for which they have a magazine, that's a niche in which you can build an online email business. Go to magazines.com, and if you see a magazine for it, you can build an email marketing business in it. So you need to choose a niche, though, that'll set you up for the most success. That's key. What niche is going to set you up for the most success? And again, as a member and a student of Learn, we actually give our students everything they need. We literally hand them everything that they need, including the best niches to go after. Then you need to actually develop your one page. This is where people could say, I don't know how to do design. I don't know how to do coding. Again, as a student of our program, we've built all the technology for you. It's 100% done, and you truly can just click some buttons. At the very end of this, this interview here, I'll give everybody the ability to go watch me build a business live in front of your eyes in 20 minutes. That's what it takes today because of technological advances and all the automation and all the tools that now exist. It takes 20 minutes to start your business. The next thing you would need is something to exchange with people for their email address. So people don't give anything for free, even if it means an email address. So why would I give you my email address? Because you're going to offer me something in return, a free PDF, something with some tips, some guides, some articles, something, a video. Well, we think what works the best is a free PDF. Now you might be thinking, well, who's going to write that PDF? I don't want to. Great. Again, as a student of Learn, we've written those for you, or we'll show you exactly how to get one written by somebody else for pennies on the dollar. And then the last piece is you just need a few emails, not many. You're not writing hundreds of emails. You don't need to be a Pulitzer Prize winning writer, by the way. You just follow a very simple model, or again, if you're a part of our program, the emails are written for you. You literally just copy paste, you fill in some blanks, you're good to go. And that's it. You take that, you have it online and have it published. Now it's a matter of just getting people to come to your store, right? So you could start and open a store down the street, have the best products in the world at the best prices, but you'll never make a single sale or have any chance of success unless someone opens the door and walks in. Well, I'm here to tell you that on the internet, it's so much easier because the world is your market, not just the little community you opened your store in, the entire world. 53% of the customers in our company at Learn are from other countries other than the United States. We have students from all over the globe, but they all come in from the same pages, they're on the same email lists because now the entire world has changed. We have a global market. So we'll teach and give you strategies to immediately start getting yourself out there without having to work really hard. So rinse and repeat the strategies we teach you so that people start to learn about your URL and they start to come to it in masses. And as they come to your site, they're going to see your offer. They're going to give you their email address. The bigger your list grows, the more emails you collect, the more money you're going to make. It's just math. There's no ifs and buts about it. And if you're following our model, we have found that every email you collect is going to be worth anywhere between 50 cents to $1 in revenue per month. So let's just play this out for a moment. We've had students come into our program and build an email list of 10,000 or more literally within a couple of weeks. Now, this isn't always, this isn't frequent, this isn't the normal result. I want everyone to understand that. But those who are ready to take action and really kick butt, they can do it in as little as just a couple of weeks. So if you have an email list of 10,000 people and you're following our model exactly as we tell you to implement it, an email list could be worth between $5,000 to $10,000 a month in automated income. So rinse and repeat that. Just go over that in your mind. $5,000 to $10,000 a month in automated income. And all you have to do is write an email every now and then. But here's the cool part. You only have to write the email once. And when you log into the system that we show you how to use called an autoresponder, you just put the email into that system once. You hit submit, it will send out 10,000 copies of that email using systems that are spam proof, that are legitimate, that are absolutely approved by Google, Yahoo, and all the greatest email companies. So the time it took you to write the email doesn't change if your email list is 10,000 people or 1,000,000 people. So you have infinite leverage on your time. So as you continue to grow that email list to be bigger, you'll continue to make more money. And the day will come soon where you can literally just have that little assignment that you have on your own shoulders allocated out to a virtual assistant or somebody else so that now you can actually completely disconnect from your business. And congratulations, you've immediately joined the I quadrant of the cash flow quadrant, and you are now an investor in your own business. And time is not being traded for money. You are not working for money, but money is working for you. And those are the only steps. The only thing you could do then if you wanted to grow bigger and badder and do more is you could reverse engineer and just simply launch more of them, do more niches, do more things to get more traffic, more people to your opt-in page to give you their email address. That's about all you could do. You couldn't do much more than that. That's how simple the model is. It's how simple the business is. And it's exactly why so many people are out there absolutely changing their lives using it, because it is that simple. I mean, in our business, in my career, I've collected over 4 million email addresses. At any given time, I have about 750,000 active email addresses. And I'm not making 50 cents to $1 per email address. No way. There are months where I'm making $2, $3. My best month is $4 per email address I have. Just because I have those emails, because I can continue to communicate with them and continue to endorse products or create my own products and show them. But like I said, you don't have to create your own products until you want to, and you may never want to. It might be a preferred model to simply endorse other people's products. So I know that was a bit of a longer answer, Andrew, to a short question, but that really is the model. That really is how it kind of works out and the steps involved in getting started.
No, that's wonderful, and I think we should dive into a couple specific pieces. So to reiterate what you said, to get started, you need a one-page website. You need some kind of free gift. You recommend a free report to offer as a bribe for somebody to give you their email address. And you need to write some emails to begin your relationship with your new subscribers. So when we talk about that one-page website, what does that one-page website look like? What is that magic website that can literally be your only web presence for your business?
You know what it looks like? It looks like a postcard. It's the quickest example I can give you. Imagine a postcard you received in the mail. You have, typically the best one-page website. It's called an opt-in page, by the way. And the best one has a headline at the top. Imagine picking up a newspaper. So there's a term in the newspaper industry called above the fold. Andrew, I think this is something I actually learned from you one time. I didn't know this. It's called above the fold, which means that newspapers are folded, and the only thing you can see as you walk by a newspaper is what's above the fold. And that's why those stories tend to be the most important, so that they can grab people to buy the newspaper. Now, the one thing that you see the most when you look at this newspaper is the key headline of the day, whatever's happened. So when somebody reaches your opt-in page or your one-page website, the first thing they're going to see is this big, bold headline at the top that makes a promise. So let's pick on an example, weight loss. So the headline at the top could say, new secret discovered, new secret revealed, how to lose 10 pounds by next Friday, right? So now this headline definitely gets my attention. Someone who's looking to lose weight, I go to the site and I think, wow, that's interesting. And it says free report. Okay, so whatever you want from me is free. That's all, even better. I don't have to give you any money. Then I see an image. I see an image that represents this free report. Kind of looks like a ebook cover. Again, you don't have to make these because the technology out there now, you click a few buttons and they're done for you. You don't have to know anything about design. You just have to be able to click a few buttons. So now it looks legit. It looks like a real thing that they're getting. It's all virtual though. And then there will be 3 or 4 bullet points. Summarization of what's in that report. Bullet point number 1 could say something as simple as scientists out of Australia discover a new ingredient that blocks fat. Bullet point number 2 could say 3 simple exercises that can trigger this ingredient in your diet or whatever, right? So these are just a few bullet points that could be there, and that's it. Then there's what you call your opt-in box. The box literally says, put your email address in below, and I'll give you the report. That's it. There's an entry area where they can put their email address in. Now, the neatest thing here is this entire page is developed using automated technologies that you don't have to understand any coding. So when you get done filling in those words, you hit submit, the rest of the page builds around them. The part where the person actually puts their email address in is automatically built and tied to the virtual database where the email address will then be stored. So there you go. That's about us. That's really it. That's what the page looks like. And there's a button below the opt-in box that says instant access. And it's when they click that button that they're actually opting in to your email list.
And it really is.
Congratulations. That is a 7-figure business right there.
And I mean, it's so remarkable how simple it is. I think everyone listening has seen these pages before, and they're really, really simple. In fact, correct me if I'm wrong, Anik, the more complicated they are, the ones where they try to be fancy, the ones where they try to, write really long sales copy and all kinds of stuff, those actually tend to convert worse than the really simple ones, don't they?
Absolutely. I one of the best articles I ever wrote that got syndicated all over the internet, this is years ago, this is over a decade ago, was why ugly websites sell. The uglier your page, the better it'll do. The simpler your page, the better it will do. You don't need anything fancy. You don't need video. You don't need moving images. You don't need Flash. You don't need Java. You don't need coding. You just need what I explained earlier, and that is it.
And that's the website. That's the magic one-page website. Now, that one-page website is offering a free gift in exchange for their email address. You talked about creating a PDF earlier. What are these free reports? What kind of information do they tend to give away? Are they long 100-page books? Like what exactly are we giving away here?
Oh, no. I wouldn't give away a 100-page book. If you got a 100-page book, I'd sell it. But these PDFs are simple. They're meant to establish a relationship. They're a flyer, okay? So I'm going to stick to using some physical examples that I would think most people have had some form of experience with. If you walk into a doctor's office, you see these little booklets or these little flyers that'll teach you about what is gastric reflux or what is, I don't know, I can't think of a condition, but anything, 5 ways to help your type 2 diabetes. I mean, these are things you will see in a doctor's office. They're not that big. They're 4 or 5 pages. And in the end, they lead to something. Want to know more? Buy our prescription drug. In your case, it's want to know more? Go to this website. I love this product. I think you should take it. It's going to teach you how to do XYZ. So really, you're just establishing a quick relationship, and that it doesn't have to be long. I've written some very long ones, by the way. I've given away my books, which are 50,000 words, for free. Do you need to? No. Why did I do it? Because I had it. I was sitting there, and I thought, I love giving that book away. It's called Circle of Profit. It's changed thousands of lives, and it's an asset I have, and I can afford to give it away for free. I don't need to charge for it, so I do. But really, I do just as well when I do a 15-page PDF that simply introduces someone to an idea and then tells them, if you want to master this idea, click this link and go to this website. Simple as that.
And it really is simple. And if you all think about it, these are people who don't really know you that well yet. You're just beginning your relationship with them. If you ask them to invest hours of their time to read a long book you wrote and they don't know you, they're not going to be all that interested in doing so. But if you offer something that's 10, 15 pages, it's easy to skim, and it gives them some very concrete, easy to digest, actionable information they can take and start seeing results in their life, that's a very different proposition, isn't it? That's something that's very appealing. So Onyx, right, the best reports, the best free reports to give away are actually not that long. They're not that sophisticated. They're easy to skim. They're easily digestible. Now, I think that what's going on in some people's minds right now is, oh, this sounds like a lot of writing. I'm not a writer. I don't like to write. How could I possibly produce the kind of content that we need to get this business going?
Oh, man. That's why, I get this question all the time, and I always respond with a story. In high school, I used to work really hard. I was a hard worker, and I had a 4.0. I straight A's. I wanted to go to Ivy League schools. I wanted full scholarship. I was working my butt off. Then I met my arch nemesis, I'm not going to say her name, but let's say Dr. J. Dr. J, my writing teacher. She had just gotten her PhD. She was very high on life about it. I walked into the writing class, chest out, Mr. Arrogant, can never get anything less than an A. Walked in, sat there, and thought, it's just writing. Until I got my first grade back, D-, read all over the paper. That semester, I struggled. I worked so hard. Parent-teacher conferences, coming in for lunch for more help. And I never, ever could get myself above a B-. And I, till this day, think she gave me a B- only because she was absolutely frustrated and didn't want to deal with me because I'd be in her room every day. So after that, I remember thinking to myself, who the hell needs writing anyways? And today, I'm not different. I write the same way as the guy who got a D- in his first, got my first not A. Same guy. See, the difference is this. We're trained to think of writing as as an English thing, as a grammatically correct, flowing thesis, blah, 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 which is tough. We're not authors. We're not all book authors and novelists. That's just the way it is. But writing as we talk about it, Andrew, is the way we talk. It's conversational writing. As a matter of fact, if you write like the authors and novelists, you will fail in this business model. So we're not really talking about writing in the way you think. We're not talking about writing the way writers write. We're talking about a few sentences following simple models that we give you, templates that you can plug into. But even better, if you're one of our students, we've written for you. At this point, Andrew, you would be better suited to tell us how many tens of thousands of emails and content pieces we've already written for our students and given to them. They have all rights to using it. We did it very much so because we understand that people are scared of the word writing. But when you get into it and you actually see what email marketing is about, you'll realize that the writing is not what you think of as writing. It's just a few words, the way you would say it to your friend. And it allows as much room for grammatical errors and all that nonsense. It doesn't matter.
And that's very true. And what's one cool thing about this business model is you see all kinds of voices. Onyx's voice is very distinct to Onyx. There are other people in this who have businesses like this who have their own voices. And it's not, again, like Onyx said, it's not like college where there's, they're trying to kind of channel you into a very specific voice. This is a business type where you will succeed more the more authentic you are with the things you write, more so than how strict to the rules you go. So it's very accessible to people regardless of whether or not they're naturally a so-called great writer or not. And just to piggyback off another thing Anik talked about, there's all kinds of resources out there that can help you too. We offer some fantastic resources that Anik alluded to that he's going to talk a little bit more about later. If you want to, if you're not somebody who likes to type, but you feel more comfortable talking, there's transcription services out there where if you just talk into your phone, they will transcribe it for a very low rate. Rev.com is a great example of that. There are also websites out there where if you want to hire a writer or an editor to help you or even write stuff for you, there are websites out there that connect you with freelancers like that for rates that, frankly, regardless of what your budget is, you can find somebody who can do work for you. So there's so many resources out there. If you believe that not being a naturally fantastic writer, or at least what you think of as a naturally fantastic writer, is a reason not to pursue this business, it is not what I would say would be a very legitimate reason not to pursue this business model. Now,
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, now that we've talked about the report, the free gift you're giving away, we've talked about the magic one-page website, they're going to be giving you their email address. Where do those emails go? Like, do you have to, go into your Gmail and every time you send an email, drop and drag all these different emails into your two-line? Like, how are the emails actually sent out?
Oh, yeah. Well, so there's a thing called an autoresponder. It's an automated, it's hosted by another company. In this case, we recommend using SendLane. And for full disclosure, I am one of the founding members and founders of SendLane. I'm one of the co-founders. But I did it because it was a service that was genuinely needed. We had 15 years of experience collectively amongst the people who were there when we were building it. Sorry, more, probably about 20 years of experience collectively. And we've now at this point sent over 4 billion emails using this platform. It's called an autoresponder. We're certainly not the only ones. There's many of the great autoresponder companies out there. And what they do is they simply store your email address in a database. It's a virtual database. So it's not on your computer. It's not at your house. Your computer, if it broke or something, wouldn't impact this at all. This is sitting in another company's infrastructure. But you own it. Nobody can shut you down. You own that database. So if someone gives you their email address, it goes into this virtual database called an autoresponder. Now from there are 2 things that can happen. Number one is you can actually set up a series of emails that are scheduled to go out every time somebody new joins your email list. And you could set up an infinite number of them. I mean, literally hundreds and hundreds. So you can tell the system that, look, when somebody joins on Tuesday, send them this email on Tuesday, send them another email on Wednesday, send them another one on Thursday, send them another one on Friday. Or you could say skip Saturday and send on Sunday. So you can assign the days and go infinitely. So I have a lot of students and people we know who prefer not to wake up in the morning and write an email. They like to just write them once, put them into the system, and they keep growing the back end of it. So some of them I know are now up to 200-300 emails, meaning all they focus on is just getting more and more people to their website to give the email address and put it in, and then literally they just know the amount of money they'll make completely automatically because the emails will keep going out. And what's neat about that is that if someone joins on Tuesday, their series starts on Tuesday. If the other person joins on Wednesday, theirs starts on Wednesday. And this system, this autoresponder system, does all that tracking for you. It does everything. It sends out your emails. It lets you know who's opening, who's clicking, and it's all done for you. Now, the second thing you can do is if you choose, and I always give this old story. This actually happened with me. Apple was releasing their iPad mini. And so, of course, me being an avid Apple fan, I had to buy it. I had to own it. But I knew it made no sense. I didn't need it. So I told myself, I dipped into one of the niches where I only had a small list, maybe 20 or 30,000. And I said, you know what? I'm going to make enough money today from this niche by sending an email that I'll use that money to go pay for the iPad. So it won't impact my finances. It will be money I make today. I'll simply use that to go pay for the iPad. And I went and sent an email, 9 or 10 in the morning. And by 1 p.m., I had made over $500 in this tiny little database, this tiny little email list in a separate niche. And that day, I actually went on to make $1,300. I made profit buying myself an iPad. So I always jokingly say it's like printing money, but the second thing that you can do is do what we call broadcasting. Broadcasting means you log into sendlane.com, you go in, you log in, You choose the list because you can have multiple lists. You can literally have all your niches in one account if you like. You choose the niche to which you want to send an email. And you type the email right there into the system. You can preview it. You can see what it looks like. You can do some checking. Put your link into it and hit the button, send. That's it. Hit the send button. You can even, if you're going on vacation for 10 days or for 5 days, you can literally write these emails ahead of time and schedule them. So then on Tuesday at 8 a.m., on Wednesday at 8 a.m., and Thursday at 8 a.m., these emails will go out as you need. And that's it. You just type it once, you put it in, you hit send, gets blasted out to everybody who's on your email list at that time.
Now let's go a little bit more into detail with the email list itself, that database. So the asset here, that's the foundation for your business, is the email list. The bigger your email list is, the more money you typically make. But building a relationship with your subscribers is also very important. So having an email list of 50,000 people who trust you, respect you, see you as an authority figure is more valuable than having an email list of 50,000 people who don't, you have no contact with them. They don't think much of you, if anything at all. So can you talk about the importance of building a relationship with your subscribers and how you go about doing that?
Absolutely. So listen, whenever I say the bigger the email list, the more money you make, I'm so glad you brought this up because the automatic assumption I'm making is that people will build and nurture that email list the way we teach. And the way we teach it, you'd end up having a strong relationship with them. I've always had those smart students that go to eBay and say, look, I can buy a disk full of 1 million email addresses on it. And that doesn't apply. That's what we call spamming. That's not this business at all. It's never going to work. It doesn't work, and it's just stupid. So relationships are key. I always put it this way. Let's say we look at your current life, and you've got 3 or 4 people around you. You've got your buddy, Sean, who you grew up with since you were 3 years old, and you've got a person you met last week at the furniture store. It's a furniture sales guy, nice guy. You guys, you were there looking for furniture, and he met you, and he's the sales guy. You also have this one friend who you met about a year ago. You see them every now and then. They come in and out of town, but typically when they come into town, they need something from you. Now, at the same time, Wednesday at 3 p.m., all 3 of them send you a text message. Who are you going to respond to first? You're going to respond to your buddy, who you've grown up with since you were 3 years old, because that's just the nature of it. You have a better relationship with that person. You're closer to that person. You're going to pay more attention to that person. So the more value that you bring to someone's life, the more they're going to value you and give you that credence. So, when we say, hey, you can endorse products and promote products, you can't just endorse products. You can't just promote products because that's going to backfire. And I think that makes sense to everybody. So now the next person says, well, I don't know how to provide value. What do I do? Listen, value comes in many ways. First of all, people value stories. People value getting to know you. The reason that you're such good friends with your friend from when you were 3 years old and have kept up till this day is, think about it. Every conversation you've ever had with that person was essentially a story. You've engaged with each other's lives. You know where he lives, who he's around. You know about his or her life. You know stories, which connects you to that person. So if all your emails were stories about you and your life and lessons you're learning as you go in relation to the niche that you're in, wonderful. You've got an amazing, amazing relationship with your list. I'll tell you, probably one of the best. Or you can easily send out an email that says 3 tips to XYZ. If you're in the dog training niche, 3 ways to make your dog stop barking. Now, if you don't know 3 ways to make your dog stop barking, good. We've got something called Google. Listen, you just don't want to plagiarize. Never plagiarize. You don't copy and paste anybody's words. But you can learn and internalize concepts that are shared with you on Google, rewrite them in your voice, and they're now yours. So a little teeny bit of research, and all of a sudden you can truly be a content expert in almost any niche. And that's it. Now you're providing value. It's as easy as that. And now your relationship with your list should, in ideal situations, be strong enough that when you email them, they give you preference. They open it, they look at it. And when you do endorse products to them every once in a while, once a week maximum, twice a week, maybe if you're if it's just that week. But when you do recommend a product, they trust it. That's the other thing I always say. The other example I give you is, imagine this. Your friend driving down the street sends you a text message and says, I just went to this amazing store. They're having a 50% off sale. You have to come here. You're going to love it. I know you're going to love everything here. Versus a blind text message that comes to you from XYZ person, right, saying, we're having a blowout 50% sale. Come to our store right now. Who are you going to look at? Whose are you going to trust the most? You're going to trust your friend just giving you a recommendation because he understands you and you understand him. So that's what we're going for. That's what makes the difference between making 50 cents a month per email subscriber and making $4. That's why, in 15 years, yes, I have mastered that art and I'm able to make even more. But I'm here to tell everybody that I've compacted 15 years of experience into very simple training and simple software. So you don't have to spend 15 years learning how to do this. You can get the results that I got in 15 years probably in a matter of 15 weeks, really, that you can master this whole business. But you could be in business in 20 minutes. It's a matter of then still having to learn the trade, right? You can learn to drive quickly, but with every day you drive, you still get better at it. Your reflexes still get better. You still master the art, even though it may have only taken you a day to actually learn how to drive.
That's a good way to put it. So I think that another important thing to talk about is the monetization part. So now that we've established that it's very important to build a relationship with your list, we've talked about how to build your list. Let's assume you're building up an email list. You got 4,000 subscribers, 5,000 subscribers, 8,000 subscribers. It's growing and growing and growing. What do you need to do to actually profit off of that and build a business?
Plain and simple. You need to find products in your niche that are going to serve your audience well. And there's so many. Last calculation done by somebody in our industry, it was estimated that there are well over 22,000. Now, just note that. 22,000 products, notable products, that are dying and looking for people to partner with. So across almost every niche, there is a product that you can endorse and recommend and make commission off of. And one of the things that we teach and go over when you're choosing the niche that you're going to eventually build your business in is you do need to choose a niche that has a wide array of products, a niche that's constantly getting updated. Look at golfing. You're never going to be a perfect golfer. You're always going to want to be a better golfer. There's always new things going on, new techniques, new golfing experts who have new programs to sell. So that's a good niche. So what you're looking to do are find products and programs, ideally that are digital, because digital pays a lot better. Otherwise you can go to Amazon and you can become an affiliate for their million-plus products. So suddenly 22,000 becomes a million plus if you want. But Amazon's going to pay you 4% commission, 5% commission, whereas digital products are going to pay you 50, 60, 70, 80% commission. And there's still thousands upon thousands of them out there. So as long as you can be in a niche where there is a handful, a good number of good products that you can rope back to every now and then to promote, that's going to be your monetization. You're going to simply focus on building a relationship. And then when that person with whom you have a relationship has an issue or problem, you're going to be right there with an email one day saying, hey, you want to learn how to master your putt? Get this product. I love it. I went through it. And ideally, I do recommend that. Ideally, I think that you should go through the product. But if it's too much money to go through all the products right now, you can many times reach out to the owner of the product and say, I want to endorse you. I'm building an email list, and I can sell your program. Can you give me a sneak peek preview? And I go in there and look at it so that I can tell my list what it's about. And many times they'll give you free access. So yes, you want to be legit. You want to be good. You want to remember there are people on the other side of that email address. You want to serve them. Otherwise, I do believe in the concept of karma. Things will come back to get to you. So that's monetization, Andrew. It's nice and simple. Finding somebody else's product that you like and could sign your name to, and simply telling people, click this link, go there. I recommend it.
And how do you go about finding these products?
That's a great question. So there's one site called ClickBank, ClickBank. ClickBank's a great site that's got over 10,000 digital products across a variety of niches. So we recommend people go there sometimes just to get their first start. There's also another website called JVZoo. So J as in jam, V as in Victor, Zoo, Z as in zebra, OO.com, JVZoo.com. They've got tons of programs there as well. And then there are other ones. Now, if you're in some bit of an obscure niche, what I can recommend you do is go to google.com, or even if you're not in an obscure niche, even if you're in a mainstream niche, go ahead and do this. You can find some really great programs. Type in the name of your niche. So we'll pick on the word dog, we'll pick on the niche dog training again. So I would go to Google, and in the search bar, I would type in dog training. Then I would type the plus sign, and then I would type in the word affiliate. So again, dog training plus affiliate. What that does is it tells Google, we would like for you to look for the words, and by the way, you would want to put quotes around the words dog training. So the quotes tell Google that these two words have to be next to each other. So it can't be like a website that happens to say something, 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 dog, something, 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 training. No, it has to say dog training. And the plus sign tells Google that, hey, on the same page where it says these words, dog training, it should say the word affiliate. So essentially what you are doing is you are becoming an affiliate. It's the other way of basically becoming invisible, is you're becoming an affiliate to this company, and you are that's giving you the ability to promote their products. So when Google looks for the word affiliate, typically you're going to go to the website, and you might have to scroll to the very bottom where the footer is, or Google will just land you directly on their affiliate page. The page that talks about how to become their affiliate typically just involves filling out a quick form, giving your name, number, address, etc., hitting submit, and on the next page they say, congratulations, here's your link. And all of a sudden, you're in business. I mean, with ClickBank, what's even more amazing is you can sign up once. It takes literally 30 seconds, and unless you live in countries that aren't approved by the United States government, you are going to be approved by ClickBank. And instantly, once you're approved, you are instantly now an affiliate of over 10,000 products. And you can sell any of those, and what ClickBank does is it'll simply accumulate the sales that you've done from all of their products to give you one check per week.
I mean, there's so much stuff out there to promote. You just got to really go looking for it, and you'll be able to find things that fit your own values of what you want to be promoting to other people, and things that at the same time are profitable that can really make you a decent amount of money. Now, Anik, as you're building your business, as you're scaling it up like you talked about earlier, what are some common mistakes that you see people making with this business?
You know, Andrew, it's funny. I'm going to give you the first common mistake I see people making, and I see this in students a lot. It's gone away now a lot. Thanks to the technology we built, that literally it's hard to do this. But I think innately we are trained as we are brought up and as we grow up, we're taught that things that are good should be hard. Things that are good should be complicated. And that's the problem, because this system truly isn't. And the more nifty, quote unquote, that you try to make it, the tougher it'll be to succeed in it. So I have people that will go out and just try to innovate, reinvent the wheel, and not follow the system because they believe that they can implement and put more in, get more out, except they only set themselves up for failure. The second thing that we see is people choosing the wrong niche. You truly do need to go through our 5-step checklist, and most of that includes, figuring out if the audience size is big enough, figuring out if other people are already doing it, because guess what? Contrary to belief, common belief, It's good to have competition. I don't want to go into a digital niche that nobody else is doing what I plan on doing in. I would rather go into a niche where other people and tons of other people are doing exactly what I'm planning on doing, because if they're making it happen, that means the chances of me making it happen are better. I always say I want a small piece of a big pie, not a big piece of a small pie. So people will go into niches that just aren't really equipped with enough products to endorse, with enough people to join your list, or they might go into niches like, for example, day trading. That's a tough niche. Yes, there's lots of people doing it, but those people also have a lot of money, and you're going to be up against. So that's an example of where maybe the competition is too much, right? At least for your first time, for your first business. Maybe your second, your third, your fourth, you're good to go. But maybe for your first one, you want to stay within a certain range. And so people will go into a niche that's either not competitive or hyper competitive. The third mistake that I see people making all the time is that they actually start to build an email list and they don't actually send emails to their list. Here's why. See, when you have an email list of 500 people, you may or may not make a sale. It can be very demotivating. That's why I say you got to keep your eye on the prize. You got to keep building that email list up. Why? Let's do the math. Typically, when you send an email, you'll get about 10% of the people you sent to open the email. Maybe you get 20, maybe you get 30, just depends. Let's say 10. That's going to be the average as your list gets big. If you have a list of 500 people, you send an email to them, 10% open it, 50 people have opened it. Okay, they opened your email. Now, typically what you'll find is maybe at a good day with a good email, 20% of those who opened it will now actually click the link. So now you've had 10 of the 50 people actually click a link. Well, we don't have enough statistical numbers to even justify somebody going to the other website to make a purchase. So the bigger the numbers, the more statistically valid your business. So that same 500, if it were 5,000, now I would have 500 people who have opened my email. And then I would have 100 people who have clicked the link. And I'm finally statistically in chance of making money. So people, I always laugh at this, right, Andrew? We're so comfortable going to school for 4 years, going to college for 4 years, and many people go on to then go to masters and graduate schools. Nothing wrong with that. Literally not. I mean, most people in my family have graduate degrees, and there's nothing wrong with that. But we are so willing to actually spend $20, $30, $40,000 a year on our education for 4 years at the slight, at the opportunity to get a job. Get that right. At the opportunity to get a job, at the chance of getting a job that might pay us back per year what we spent per year to get the degree. And those very same people, when they try to build an online business or a business in any kind, cannot bear the thought of doing something repetitively for a week or 2 weeks without seeing the results that they desire to see. And that is what you call the get-rich-quick dilemma, the issue, the curse, the plague of people thinking they can click a button and make a ton of money, and then when they don't, they quit. I want that person to take a moment and say, I gave it 4 years in a college education only so I could come out and have a chance at getting a job. And I'm not willing to give this thing 4 months, 2 months, 1 month of dedicated effort. And college, we gave full time, 8, 9, 10, 12 hours a day. With this kind of internet business, I'm asking for a half an hour to an hour a day. So unfortunately, people will get the start and they'll quit right before the success. I remember this old story I heard once. It changed my life. It was when I was finally learning sales. I was the most shy, most quiet person ever. Couldn't stand up in front of my own friends to say my name. And my mentor back then was teaching me something. And he said that there was once a salesman who knocked on 20 doors. Oh, not a salesman, but a new guy who was trying to learn to sell. Knocked on 20 doors. Every door in the neighborhood, knocked on 20 doors. He was selling a set of encyclopedias. He wanted to sell these encyclopedias. All 20 people said, no, thank you. We don't need these. Every time he heard a no, it was like a gut punch. It was tough. He couldn't deal with it. It was failure, 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 20 times. In a span of a couple of days, that's a lot. Turns out, though, he walked away after the 20th one, returned the encyclopedias back to the company and said, no, thank you, this isn't for me. Just so happens, it turns out that the 21st house, had he knocked the door, was looking for 10 sets of encyclopedias for their church. Just so happens, that's what they needed. But they just went and bought it at a store. So he told me this story, and I said, I got the point. I understand. With every no, you're closer to a yes. With every failure, you're closer to a success. And students just don't give it enough time. So I always say, don't go into this expecting you're going to be a millionaire by tomorrow, because that just doesn't work. And that's not going to happen in anything. The only way that happens is in the lottery. And most people who win the lottery end up dead broke. So don't go into it with that expectation. Know that you're building a true business. Know that you're building something that can truly automate your life and your income, but you're going to have to pay your dues in the beginning, and you're going to have to learn. And that's why we do what we do at Learn Nation. That's why we built Learn, to be the transformational home for entrepreneurs, because we wanted to facilitate people with everything they needed. We wanted to be the support structure, and we wanted to be the ones that gave the exact system, the tools, the coaching, so that as soon as the student was feeling a little bit of an obstacle facing them, we would be right there to support them and push them and tell them ahead of time that they would face it. I'm here to tell people today that no matter how much I've automated the process, no matter how much training we've provided, you will face tough days. And I'm telling you that right from the get-go. That way, when the day comes, you can say, Anik told me it would happen. I don't need to quit. I just need to go back to my home at Learn and get some help. And so that would be, Andrew, the biggest mistake I see people make, is they literally stop right before they're about to have their big breakthrough.
That's fantastic. So you shared a lot of great information today, Anik. If somebody wanted to learn more and take some next steps, where do you recommend they go?
Well, here's what I'm going to tell everybody to do. Right now, I want to challenge you to come get some more training, some more free training on exactly how to build this kind of business. Now, I want to show you. I want to build this business with you. I want to do this. It takes me 20 minutes, and I can show you every single step. We'll actually use an automated technology that you get to experience. Not just that. I'll take you to the beginning. I'll take you to exactly how this business works. We'll have visual representations and diagrams and drawings so that you understand exactly how the email marketing business model works. And with that said, you will then be able to go to a point where every single thing I said today, you will see me put into action. So I'll actually build a business. And the coolest thing is I'll time myself, and I'll tell you right now, it'll take me less than 20 minutes to officially be in business for free, because I will not have spent a penny during that time. The domain names won't need to be bought. Technology won't need to be messed with. There will be no writing needed, no design work needed. We'll even have the best affiliate programs, ways to make money implemented into the program. You just choose which one you want. I will show you how to do this. That's what I need. I can't explain it to you right now. I need you to show up for this training and watch this workshop. And the best part is, at the end of the workshop, you'll have an opportunity to work with us. You'll have an opportunity to get your hands on the same technology and to get yourself a coach, someone from our Learn Nation who will work with you, the community that will work with you. You'll have 24/7 access to our community of coaches, daily access to them through Q&As, and you'll have an entire system. I'm talking about getting a 4-year college degree in the span of a week if you want. Again, let me repeat that. The equivalent of a 4-year college degree in the span of 1 week. And not just that, but also getting all of the tools and coaching you need from there onwards to help you build your business, make it into a great success. It all starts with first learning the final pieces you need and watching me actually build this business in 20 minutes or less. Now, somewhere on this page, somewhere, or depending where we are, there's a link. I need you to click that link. I need you to go to that link. Just visit it. Just type it in. Go to that URL, and you'll have an opportunity to register for your free seat to this training. Grab it. Be serious. Show up live. Be there live. Do not miss it. All right? Watch me do this. And at the very end of the training, if you're still interested, which I know you will be, but if you're still interested, go ahead and take action. All right, go ahead and join us. And we want to welcome you into our Learn Nation. And we want to work with you hands-on. We want to give you every single thing you need to help you become successful. That's our mission here. Again, I'll go back and say Learn's mission and our goal and our dream at Learn is to be a transformational home for entrepreneurs. That is, what is home? Home means the place you come to belong, the place you come to be safe, the place you come to be supported and understood. Transformational because we want to take you from where you are in your life today to where it is you've been dreaming of being for a long time. We want to equip you with everything you need for it. And I wouldn't be on here today for as long as I have been. I wouldn't have built an entire company around this if I didn't genuinely at the core believe you can do it and believe that we have what you need to get you there. The only thing left now is join me for this training. Come watch this entire system in action. Make that last decision that this is for you. Commit to the process. And then join us inside Learn Nation and we'll take you the rest of the way.
That's fantastic. Thank you, Onyx, so much. You've talked about some great, valuable material here. Really appreciate you taking the time to join us today.
All right. Thank you so much. Listen, everyone, thank you for your time. It's been an honor, a pleasure. And Andrew, it is always an honor to be interviewed by you. And for everyone who's watching, I just want to say my last thing, which is remember, when life pushes you, stand straight, smile, and push it the heck back.
Absolutely. Thank you again. And thank you, everybody, for listening. Be sure to take action on what you've learned. Check out the link that Onyx referenced there. And, of course, be sure to tune in next month where we'll talk about another awesome topic. Have a great day, everyone.